Alrighty guys, so I'm going to be changing out the battery on my W164 ML63. I need this battery as toast because from listening to music in the car after parking it for a little bit or being on the phone for a little bit, the battery would just die and your car won't be able to start. So that is pretty much a symptom of a bad battery, along with also putting the windows down and they kind of forget where to return to. They won't auto close. It's kind of weird. That's also a symptom of the battery dying. What's up, guys? But yeah, that is pretty much it in terms of knowing your battery's dead. The battery is located in these cars, at least the main one, is back here behind the passenger seat, or the right seat in this case. It's actually below that cover. So to get access to it, we're going to push this seat all the way forwards and push it forward all the way in both directions just to make things easier for us. And ignore the M3 subframe I have right there. That's not important for this video. All right, with the seat all the way forwards, we can now remove this cover back here. Simply just kind of lifts off. There are a few tabs on the back. I believe a couple of mine might be broken because it did not seem very tight. Anyways, see the battery right over there. It looks like this has been changed before, and it is not a original Mercedes battery. It's a Duralast one from O'Reilly's, I believe. So we'll probably go either there or Costco to change it. I recommend using either a interstate battery from Costco or original Mercedes battery. But next up is remove this little vent piece over here for the rear seats. Couldn't take that off, but also there's this little piece of carpeting that needs to be cut if yours is not cut already. If you have original battery, there's usually like going to be a perforation along this little line over here where you have to cut this piece of carpet to lift it up, but it looks like mine's already been cut for the previous owner, so just lift it up like so. You can see you get better access to the vent. Now, in that corner over there, there's supposed to be a little like sort of push pin to kind of keep that thing in place. But it looks like mine's missing, so whoever did this before really didn't do a good job. And I've had this car for like 4 years, so it's clearly been done before that. So this thing will now slide out from there to get you better access to the battery. Just a better look at this. So basically you'd have a little push pin over here, would go in there, and then that would basically anchor this plastic vent piece to this bracket and keep that in place. There should be a little pin you pull out first, and the bigger pin will come out after that. Here we see the battery now. There's also one more plastic cover that has a couple tabs. Seems to just kind of come out like that. And here we have our battery. All right, so here we can see this is very clearly not the original battery. This appears to be an O'Reilly's battery from, Duralast or whatever, Superstart, whatever they may call their brand. But it is 850 cold cranking amps. Now I've seen some MLs use 850, some 900. If we can upgrade to 900, we might do that because who would not want a high-performing battery? But yeah, let's get this thing out of here. There are two 13mm bolts or nuts down there that appear to be securing it to the car, a little tie-down bracket. And then we also have to remove each of the terminals, which you can see, that one's not the easiest to get to. It's a little plastic cap. We'll take that off right now, actually. And do not forget when you reinstall a new battery to install this vent hose. This is very important as excess gases from the battery get vented through this little tube out to the outside of the car. If you don't do this, you can actually have, toxic gases from this battery end up in the cabin of the car, which is really not what you want because you just sit right there and that's just not good stuff to breathe in. So definitely be sure to replace this and plug that into your new battery. All right, so I've gotten the two little 13mm nuts off of the bracket down there. You can kind of see the studs if it focus, but essentially you get that bracket now out of this so the battery can freely move towards me. So I'll probably use a flathead screwdriver to pry that out. I could kind of reach down there and get it, but it is kind of difficult, so I'll just use a flathead screwdriver. Might make things a bit easier. Next up, I'm going to take off the 10mm nuts on the battery terminals. Let's start off with the positive. Over there, it is the terminal facing us, right over there, which is nice. We'll remove that, at least loosen it to get the terminal off. We'll do the same over here, and hopefully we can pull the battery out of the car. This one does have handles. I think the OEM Mercedes ones have handles as well, although I cannot entirely remember for sure. But regardless, getting out is going to be kind of challenging because of how heavy it is and how low it is and how the positioning of things. But just get a good grab on it and you should be able to get it out without much of a problem. Okay, so battery's officially out of the car. That was kind of tedious, but it wasn't so bad if you just tilt it to one side. So what it is, it kind of pulled the side closest to me up and out, and I kind of pushed it back. So it basically had this side of the battery flat, so it was kind of in this position. So I basically kind of got like this in the car, and then it's pretty easy to pull out from there. But just be careful on the scratchy thing. It is pretty heavy, and it's kind of like, you don't really expect it to be that heavy until you actually get it out. So Just be cautious of that. Now, let's go to either Costco or O'Reilly's and replace this thing. And if you're curious, it does appear to be an 850 cold cranking amp battery. And like I said, I've seen both 850 and 900 in mLs, so I'm probably getting 900 if I can, because why would you not want a better battery in this kind of car? So let's go ahead and get that sorted out. Alrighty guys, so I got the new battery from Costco. It's an Interstate battery. I do recommend them. They're pretty good, although I've heard some mixed things recently. But then again, do you have that Costco warranty with 3 years, no questions asked, can bring it back and get a new one. This is kind of an uncommon size with the cold cranking apps of 900 being an H8 size and also being AGM. This was the only one my Costco had in stock. They had to find it from the back. So definitely not a common one. I would call your Costco if you're gonna get it from them ahead of time to see if they have it. You can also just call your dealership if you want an OEM one instead. Either way, not a very common size, so be sure to call in advance wherever you're getting it from. But yeah, here it is. This should be good to go. All mLs 164 should be 900, CCAs at least 350 and up in the US from what I've seen. I don't know why my car at 850, but that's beside the point. That battery's gone now. This battery should be pretty solid for the application without any issues whatsoever. Let's get this thing installed and ready to go. Alright, so before we install the new battery, there's one thing I've heard to do which can be a good thing that can actually save your fuses and whatever. This might not be an issue at all, but better safe than sorry. It's a very easy thing to do, so why not? And that is to turn your lights all the way on before you connect the battery, just so that any chance that there's a spike in voltage, nothing in your modules will be damaged at all. Now, the likelihood of this happening is actually not very common, at least in my knowledge and from my experience with these cars, but you know, why run the risk if you can just do something as simple as that? Also wanted to mention that if you want to change your auxiliary battery, it is right there. That little battery is that. It's pretty kind of funny. It's a tiny battery next to this absolutely massive one. So those should be changed every once in a while. I want to say it's every few years. So if you're thinking about doing that, you definitely should. I unfortunately didn't think about that, so I didn't even buy a new one, but I will be doing that shortly. Also guys, once you have the battery in, it's very important to not forget to reconnect this vent hose. Like I was saying earlier, if you don't connect this vent hose, very noxious gases come out of this battery into your cabin and kill you. So definitely connect that and make sure that doesn't happen. And now it's just a matter of reconnecting terminals, meaning I'll do the negative first and then positive after. Put a little plastic cover back in, put any nuts below to secure the bracket to tighten on the battery, and then we should be good to go. That's all for this video, guys. Leave a like if it helped you out, and subscribe for more AMG content or ML content like this, and see you guys soon.